As the wise man said, someone who says it can't be done should not interrupt the person doing it.
That's truth right there. We're going on a road trip. We're gonna go to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, which is near Sevierville, for an event that we're going to over the weekend. And we're taking our brand new Chevy Bolt EV with us. We're very excited.
So we're going to be going from here to Jackson, Tennessee, where we'll spend the night. And then tomorrow morning we'll go from Jackson, Tennessee, the rest of the way into Sevierville. Our first planned charge stop is in Mount Pleasant, Texas, which is 159 miles away. We left our house a little over 20 miles ago with 100% state of charge and the My Chevy app. So it's a Chevy Bolt, it's not a Tesla. So if you want to know your estimated battery percentage when you get to your charging station, you have to use the My Chevrolet app, and you have to tell it that the charging station is where you work. And right now the My Chevrolet app says 22% state of charge in the battery on arrival. But if our buffer goes down before we get there, there's another charge stop in Forrest City, which is about halfway between here and there. So we'll show you some clips from the road and see you at our charge stop in Mount Pleasant. Okay, so it's past time for us to leave because we, took our time eating lunch and all of that at Mount Fuji Hibachi. It was very good. It was very yummy. I have a problem with my little strategy of using the My Chevrolet app in that it stopped updating and it will no longer update. Still says we're at 35% state of charge. However, our charger out here says we're at like 68% by now. This charging session seems to be free, and it didn't require me to get logged into my account, so I'm not getting any notifications through the EA app either. So while we were eating, I'm just kind of crossing my fingers that we're getting a charge. But right now I've got 175 miles of projected range. We are going to our next charging stop in Hope, Arkansas, which is 93.7 miles away, so we're well beyond good. We could have left probably 10 minutes ago. But we were eating and taking our time and enjoying our trip and enjoying some yummy food. So you got any thoughts?
No thoughts. My mind is empty of thoughts.
Okay, well, let's go unplug and get back on the road.
Do it, Stuart.
We're at 70% right now, which is more than enough charge. 15 minutes left to be at 80. We don't need to be at 80. We only really needed to be at 58. We're still pulling 34 kilowatts, which is what we were pulling when we started. We don't know if we got any audio when we started recording, so I'm going to push the stop button. And the cooling hose and the line just shut off. Cooling fans on the car are running, but we also have it on. And now it says we're idling. Charges $0 per session, plus this updating session fee and charging, whatever. Unplug, put those back up, close the door, replace the handle. Thank you, driver. Yeah, right there. I don't know if you can see it for the glare, but it says $0 because as $9.13 is what this would have cost, but member savings $9.88. So that was a free charge. We based off of the gas prices here and the amount of miles that we drove, had we driven our Subaru Crosstrek, it would have taken us $20 and change worth of gas to get here. And even if that had charged us, that was $9, but it was free. So even more savings. So there we go. We're gonna get back on the road, and our next stop is Hope, Arkansas. We're in the Walmart parking lot in Hope, Arkansas. We've been in Arkansas for 30 miles, about half an hour, and we're heading over for our second charge of the trip. The EA is right over here. It's 4 stations, and I don't know which ones work and which ones don't because I was stupid and didn't look it up. This one actually knows me. So this charge is going to cost. This one's going to cost, and we're getting the Pass Plus rate of 31 cents per kilowatt hour. So continue, which is this button. Thank you for choosing Electrify America. At 27%, we're speeding up. We're getting 52 kilowatts right now. So this is nice, 28%, and we're going. So now I just need to figure out how much charge we need to get. That hotel, this one right here, that's the Holiday Inn Express that we're going to be staying in a couple of days when we're on our way back.
Not that one.
Yeah, not that one, but that one. So we'll come down, we'll have I'll move the car over here, start charging, and then walk over there to have breakfast, and we're good. It's not even across the street. It's a gravel lot to get to it, so even better. We've been here for 30 minutes. We've put on 23 kilowatts. We're at 39 kilowatts charging right now, and we're at a 62% state of charge. And I think that that's enough to get us to Little Rock. The guessometer on the car is saying that we've got about a 50-mile buffer, which is more than enough, but I'm concerned that we're going to be driving, 75 miles an hour the rest of the way there. But I'm going to go ahead and stop the charge. Please unplug. We have unplugged. Flat back in, door closed. Charger handle returned. It's saying thank you. I got no idle fee. And finish. $7.81 was the total cost on that. So far it has cost us $7.81 to drive this car in what would have by now been a little over $30 worth of gas. So I'll have more accurate numbers after our charge in Little Rock. Arkansas charges by the kilowatt hour at these Electrify Americas, and that's way more expensive than charging by the minute. So it's going to be about even with gas by the time we get to Tennessee, but then we'll start making ground back up. That is a Kia Niro EV pulling in. He is in good shape. All right, let's get back on the road.
Let's go.
see if we can get this charging session started. And it's charging.
Okay.
It is getting later in the afternoon. It is, let's see, 5:12. We've been here for 15 minutes so far. So we got this charge started a little bit before 5 o'clock. We're at the Little Rock, Arkansas Walmart. This is our third charge stop of today's trip. And it took a while to get this charge started because I was trying to get myself logged in to Electrify America, but it didn't seem like it wanted to log me in, and so I don't think I'm getting the Pass Plus pricing. Been here for 15 minutes, 13 kilowatts, and right now it says $4.73. We're getting, I'm going to try to get this on the camera. We're getting 49 kilowatts right now. 50 minutes left until 80%. We're at what percentage? We got here at 18%, and I can't tell. 38% state of charge right now, and I think we need to get to 60% before we can head out again. Our next stop is planned to be in Forrest City, Arkansas, which is another 100 miles up the road. Our efficiency is down around 3.6 miles per kilowatt hour, which from what I've seen is about where it should be. We were getting like 4.4 at the start of the trip, and then it hovered around 4 for a little bit. But I noticed that my guessometer registers better efficiency when I'm at a higher state of charge in the pack. When I'm down below 50%, it's not going so great. Plus, for the last 100 miles, definitely since Hope, Arkansas to here, and since Mount Pleasant, Texas to Hope, Arkansas, the speed limit was 75, and that's another big reason why our efficiency went down. But we're on 3.6 miles per kilowatt hour on this at this point in the trip. We've got our next charging stop, as I said, in Forest City, Arkansas, about 100 miles away. That'd be that way. And we're gonna have dinner there. And that'll be our last charging stop in Arkansas. Then when we cross the border into Tennessee, we get back to paying by the minute instead of by the kilowatt hour, which for a Bolt works out to be substantially cheaper because we're charging at the lower rate. And what's going to cost us around 10 or 12 bucks here, once we're in Tennessee, the same amount of charge would cost us more like 5 or 6 bucks, which is great. And it's still going to be cheaper than gas, even at this higher rate. We don't know yet. When I planned the trip originally through a better route planner, it didn't tell me to stop in Memphis to charge. And I don't have that on the master trip plan. But then it was about an hour to charge in Jackson, Tennessee, and that's where we have our hotel for the night. And I don't know if I want to stand around at a Walmart a mile away from the hotel for an hour before I go into the hotel room. So stopping in Memphis would mean that I'd have to charge for less time in Jackson, Tennessee. We've been going just fine. When we were in Hope, our charging stop gave us enough time to go into the Walmart, go to the bathroom, look for something that we might need for the trip, and then get ourselves a couple of drinks, come out, and the car was ready to go then. But this one, we're gonna need more charge because we're like at 18% when we got here, which is plenty. It's just we need to get to 60% before we go again. So a few more minutes and we'll be back on the road. We are done here in Little Rock. We're at 64% state of charge. We've got about 155 miles of projected range and 100 miles to the next charger. We got more than enough. We'll lose some of the buffer at 75 miles an hour and probably get there with 30 miles left. Oh wait, total session cost nothing. This was a free charge.
It did it again.
This is another free charge.
That's the second time when you were really worried that it wouldn't recognize you, and it was because it was free.
The one time that I made sure I logged in is the only one that we paid for so far.
Okay, then.
That was a free charge.
Nice.
Excellent. Rock and roll.
Thank you.
Let's get back on the road to Forest City. 100 miles to the next charge and dinner there.
Let's go.
8:40. Sun has gone down. It is 7:06 p.m. and we are going to the Electrify America station here in Forrest City, Arkansas. This will be our last charging stop in Arkansas and might be our last charging stop for today. And we're gonna have dinner while we're here. So since we're not gonna be in a rush, since we're eating, we'll get a nice long charge and go from there. Boom, boom, boom. All right. So just grab the plug. In. Connecting. So what we learned at the Little Rock charger was don't sweat logging in, because right now these chargers seem to be free. Or not. Oh, nope, this one wants me to pay. So this one wants me to pay. I gotta get my phone.
Sad day. But we have had 2 free charges so far, so I'm not complaining. This is fine.
Electrify America still thinks I'm in Little Rock. So going to where we're at, here we are. And the Electrify America at Dedrick Road. We're on processing payment. Now it says initiating charge. This better say hello, Luke. It's thinking about it. Yep, welcome, Luke. So yeah, this one is, at least it's gonna give us the member rate. And this one I'll be able to monitor the charge real time from the Electrify America app. So that's at least good. Continue, because when we were in Little Rock and in Mount Pleasant, I couldn't activate it on my phone, and the My Chevrolet app wouldn't update fast enough, so we had no idea if we were away from the car where we were at. But at least this way with the Electrify America, we should be okay. Yeah, because right there on the phone, it says 20%. And right there, well, it said 20%. We got 60 minutes left until we get to 80%.
21%, it says.
And now it says 21 there, and the phone says 20. So there's a little bit of lag, but it's close.
Yeah, okay.
All right, and so now it is time for us to walk to some of the places over there. So it looks like we got a McDonald's and a Waffle House, and we saw a Taco Bell and a KFC. And the KFC and the Taco Bell will probably be easier to get to.
Yeah, okay.
So it's time for us to get dinner.
Let's do it.
Long charging stop, but we had to walk a quarter mile to the KFC, and then we had to walk a quarter mile back after we ate, so burned all the calories we just took on. We're up to 72% state of charge. We've been charging for 45 minutes. We got here at 20%. We're only taking in 35 kilowatts. If we wanted to charge in Memphis, we've got like 60 miles, but we're gonna try to power through to Jackson, where we're spending the night, and charge there tonight before we go to sleep, and get back in the morning. And right now we have about a 45-mile buffer, which is the smallest buffer that we've left with today, but I think we can handle it. We should have plenty. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop this charge.
Do it.
So pushing stop. $10.23 tells me to unplug. Ugh. It takes a little bit of oomph to get that out of there.
Oomph. It takes oomph.
Charge door closed.
If you need extra oomph, where do you get it?
Updating. We have no idle fee. That's warm. $11.73. Member savings $4.54. The membership cost is $4. So this one charge all by itself took care of that. And I think this is going to bring our total fuel costs so far for this trip to be around 19 bucks. And we're somewhere close to 500 miles so far. So I'll have more up-to-date stuff when we leave Jackson in the morning. But we're done with this charge. How are you feeling, Rachel?
I'm ready to get back in the car.
Let's get back in the car and let's get on the road.
All right.
Jackson, Tennessee. This is the end of our first day of driving. In a little while, we'll be at our hotel at the Jackson Hotel and Convention Center, because believe it or not, with that fancy name, it's a super cheap hotel. But we've got one more charge so that we don't have to charge in the morning. We're going to go ahead and charge up tonight at this Electrify America. We're on charger number 4. Every few seconds my screen goes dark. Boom. And swipe to charge. Processing payments. Initiating charging. So that is successful. Seamless. We've had good luck with the Electrify America today.
We have, which we need to knock on wood because, you know, we've seen a lot of YouTube videos where there were a lot of problems.
It's recognized me. It's got us in on the Pass Plus. Continue. Thank you for choosing Electrify America. It's kicking on. Car's connected. Okay, so we're at 19% state of charge. Chevy Bolts don't tell you that right off the bat. So 19% state of charge. And I don't know how much we need to get, but we need to get enough charge to get to Nashville tomorrow morning. And the amount of miles that we have left, I don't know for sure. I'll have to look that up. 51 kilowatts is our current charge speed, between 50 and 51. We have done 605 miles today.
That's a lot of miles.
And this is charge stop number 5 for today. And we've got 3 charge stops tomorrow before we reach our destination. So we're gonna get some power, maybe go in, see if this Walmart's open, get some drinks and snacks, give us something to do with the time, and we'll be back here in a little bit to unplug and sign off for day 1. This is a longer charging stop than normal because we've got a long leg to start tomorrow. Went to 79%. I'm going to touch to return and stop. And now I need to unplug. So, come on, there we go. It's easier to do with 2 hands, holding the camera. Okay, closed up. After tax, $7.02. We picked up 41.2 kilowatt hours. Took 53 minutes because, well, it's a Chevy Bolt. But check this out, 41 kilowatts, $7.06. Our last stop in Forrest City, Arkansas was 35 kilowatts and was $11.87. That is the difference between Electrify America chargers that charge by the minute and those that charge by the kilowatt hour. Tennessee and Texas charge by the minute. Arkansas charged by the kilowatt hour, which meant that charging in Arkansas was more expensive than charging in Texas or Tennessee. At least it was for us. And there's the difference right there. Also, the cheapest gas prices that we've seen on the trip so far were also in Arkansas. We saw gasoline at $2.91. I can't see a gas station around, well, there is a gas station here, but it's closed. And if it was open, it'd be a Sam's Club gas station, but I saw prices like $3.30 coming into town. So even if we figured the cheapest gas price that we've seen so far of $2.91, our Crosstrek, our Subaru Crosstrek, had we taken it on this road trip, and it's not a gas guzzler by any means. We're talking 28 to 30 miles per gallon. Based off of my cost per mile math, that you can watch my cost per mile analysis video and you can see how I figured all that out. But that would have cost us $60 and change to get this far. We've gone 605 miles so far. And the cost per mile at $2.91 came to about 10.3 cents per mile in the Subaru. All of our charge costs to this point, and I don't have the total stuck in my head, but it was going to be something like, let's see, about 28 bucks is how much it's cost us to charge so far. And that's with the expensive charging in Arkansas that we had to deal with. One of those charges was free, but two of them weren't. Worked out to 4.3 cents a mile with the Bolt. So that number I remember is 4.3 cents per mile with our Chevy Bolt. So less than half the cost. If we had to pay for the charge in Hope and got gas at the cheapest price, and that was the only thing we were calculating, the cost would be pretty close between the Bolt and the Crosstrek, I would think. But now that we're in Tennessee, where charging is cheaper, the advantage is going to go more to the Bolt, whether the charges are free or not. So this is the end of our first day. More of this video to come, but we're going to go check into the hotel at the Jackson Hotel and Convention Center, and we're going to probably show you the room before we go to bed, and then we'll be back on the road in the morning, and that's only going to be a few seconds for you. Day 2 of our trip to Eastern Tennessee. We are in Jackson. We just spent the night at the Jackson Hotel and Convention Center, which is over that hill over there. We booked that hotel when we thought we were taking the Tesla, and if you can see in the background, that's why. The Tesla supercharger's right here. And right behind us over here, show you, there's where everybody else gets the blank level 2 chargers. We did not charge there. We charged at an Electrify America across the freeway. But we've got this Old Town Country Store behind us, and we're at the Casey Jones Home Railroad and Museum in the background and all of that. So Rachel, what about our hotel last night?
It was an adventure. We booked it because A, it was close to the Tesla chargers, and B, it was like an astonishingly low rate, and we figured it was a bit of a risk to go to a hotel that was that cheap. But it was listed as the City Convention Center, and we go, well, let's try it. What's the worst that could happen? It's terrible, and we have to go somewhere else. So it was not great. It looked like it had once been a nice hotel, like maybe 50 years ago, and it had been renovated, but not very thoroughly. And so, yeah, we would not have chosen it if we had actually been aware of how many cracks there were in the ceilings and how musty the room was going to smell when we walked in. And they had breakfast,
which was toast, oatmeal, and cereal.
Yeah, those are. Well, there was one of those big waffle irons that you could make a waffle.
Oh,
and there were donuts.
Don't forget the Hostess powdered donuts.
Yeah, the Hostess powdered donuts were there as well. So, and there was coffee. So, I mean, it wasn't awful. It was fine. You know,
no, I have stayed in worse hotels.
We've definitely stayed in worse hotels, but the pictures made it seem like it was going to be nicer than that. So, anyway. Sad day. This little area is super cute. Look at it. We've got this little cafe. This little, I don't know, they say it's a country store. I don't know. It's cute. It looks like a historic area. We've got this train. There's a little church chapel thingy over there. There's this neat little clapboard house over here and the museum. It's really neat. Fun little place.
So today we are going on the second leg of our journey to our destination in Sevierville, Tennessee. Our first charging stop is in Nashville, and about 135 miles. After that, we've got a charge stop in Cookeville, and then we're going to top off in Knoxville before we get into Sevierville, and we'll see you on the road. we go. So we're in Nashville, Tennessee.
Yay! Music City.
Yeah. Not a Walmart, which is great for an Electrify America.
Great. And we're here at 10:02.
10:02. Good catch on the time. Let's go plug in. Well, handle number 2 looks like it's going to be closer to where we need to be. Okay, so charger is connecting to the vehicle. And I'm going to open up Electrify America app, and yes, I'm going to have to log in. Oh no, this is Willowbrook Commons is the name of this one.
Willowbrook Commons, okay.
8 of 8 chargers available. We are on charger number 2, and handle 2 is the one that works. This handle's not supposed to work. I grabbed the right one. Swiping to charge. Phone says initiating. Machine says initiating. Seamless.
And I think Joanna Gaines must have been here at one time because there's a magnolia tree. I think it's a magnolia tree. It looks like it from here. And if not, please cut this part out. So I don't look like an idiot.
We'll see what happens. So we're logged in, we're registered, continue. Now the car hasn't beeped at me yet. I'm still got an orange indicator there. There we go.
There it is.
So we're at 20%. 20% state of charge. I don't know quite what we need to get to. I think the next leg is under 100 miles. It's like 90 something from here to Cookeville. And I'll do some figuring here to find out. Well, you know what? No, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to my trip plan and find the address of the next one. 1177 Sam Street. So Google Maps. 1177 Sam's Street. Guess what that charger's at? It's on Sam Street.
Yeah.
Sam Street, Cookeville, Tennessee. Distance is 77 miles. This is a short leg coming up, but we're going to need to charge it there so that we can make it to Knoxville.
Got it.
Right now, the car says 53 miles of projected range. We need 77 plus the buffer. So 77 plus, say, like 50 is what? If we want a 50-mile buffer when we leave the charger.
77 plus 50.
It's 127.
Yeah.
And we're at 54 now. So basically we need to get about another 70-some miles.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, we might have enough around maybe 55%.
Okay.
So
yeah, so it shouldn't take long. 10 minutes, find some place to pee, come back.
Yeah, just find a place to pee and come back. Hey, while we're here and while we're recording,
yes.
What is your opinion of this whole EV trip situation that we've been doing?
It's working out great. I said before the car is really comfortable. One of my biggest concerns was going to be the chargers because, you know, when you watch YouTubers, a lot of times you notice that they try to charge and something goes wrong, it doesn't work right. The first time we tried to charge when we did our experiment in Fort Worth, we had a little trouble. Chargers that said they were supposed to be working weren't working, and I got the impression that the whole network was just kind of shitty. But we haven't had any trouble on this one. The only times we thought there was a problem was when the charger was trying to give us the charge for free, and it didn't want to, like, you know, recognize who was taking the charge because it didn't care. So we really have had no problems at all. All of them that said they were working were working. There has been nobody at all the chargers. We haven't had any problem with icing. We haven't had any problem with them being crowded or them being broken or them recognizing the device. Like, really, it's been a very good experience so far.
And we've already been charging for 2 minutes. We've got 2 kilowatt hours delivered, and we're still pulling 52 kilowatts, which is about the peak for this car. We've already gained 4% of charge. But yeah, we had a Mustang Mach-E pull in at Mount Pleasant at our first charge that was sitting there that by the time we plugged in was gone. And then I think it was that same Charger that had a Kia Niro EV pull up as we were leaving.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen another vehicle at any one of these Chargers since.
Yeah, it's real strange. We expected them to be a lot more crowded than this.
But yeah, we got them to ourselves mostly.
Yeah.
So we're gonna walk around, find a place to pee, and see, not a Walmart. This is just a shopping center. I think it's got a Kroger in it.
Yeah.
But this is a restaurant called Guacamaya's, and it's only 10 in the morning, and I don't think they're open yet. If we were here at lunch, that would be convenient.
Yeah, but we're not ready for lunch yet.
Yeah.
So we'll eat later.
Rachel found some sprouts at the Kroger. We can't find those anywhere in Texas, but we had them here in Tennessee.
Look, for those of you who live near a Whole Foods in Texas, I just want to say count yourself very lucky. I'm sure they have them there, and you're like, why? It's not hard to find sprouts in Texas. I live in rural Texas, which is where if you go to a Jimmy John's whose specialty is a sprout sandwich, they don't carry sprouts in that location because nobody freaking eats sprouts in rural Texas. The grocery store does not carry them. Just saying.
Not that she's bitter or anything. Let's check in on the charge. We're at 50% already, which means we're going to start tapering off. 54 kilowatts and 53 is where we're bouncing to. We've been here for 22 minutes. We've gone from 20 to 50%, so 30% of our charge in 23 minutes. 20 kilowatts delivered, and in the car, it says 123 miles of range. So we'll have that 50-mile buffer in 3 more miles of range. So we're about ready to go. So we're about, yeah. I said 55% is what we would need, and we're probably only going to need like 52%. 52, maybe 53, and we're at 51 already. So we can take off fairly soon, like in a minute or two. But we finally met people with more EVs, and we got into a conversation and wanted to stop at 52% and ended up at 67%. We still have, now we've got 163 miles. We'll stop in the next one, next stop in Cookeville. This charge cost us $4.99. Went from 20% to 67%. And we're back on the road. Last night, when we went to our dinner stop in Forrest City, Arkansas, the closest place to eat was about a 3/10 of a mile walk to a Kentucky Fried Chicken. And we were kind of meh afterwards. So today we're a mile away from the Charger and we saw an Arby's. So we got our food before we go to the charging station, and we'll eat while we're charging. Yay.
It's a pretty good plan. And we remembered when we were at the KFC that we don't actually really like KFC anymore.
In 1.1 miles. Exit to exit 287, State Route 136, Cookeville, Sparta.
Cookeville, Sparta?
Cookeville, Sparta.
Yeah, I have the Waze navigation set to an Australian voice.
You know, why not?
Because, yeah.
Because why not? Well, actually, because we had the Arnold Schwarzenegger one. We had the Terminator one on.
Terminator doesn't give you streets.
Half a mile.
Yes.
Use the right lane to exit right.
And he always shouts at you. Like, the Terminator shouts at you whenever there's a hazard on the road, instead of just, like, calmly telling you there's a hazard. He goes,
"Hazard
get
on
down.
the road. Get down!"
Yeah,
is what he says.
It's not great.
Yeah. This Electrify America station is at a Sam's Club on Sam's Street. I don't think that they named the club after the street. I think they named the street after the club.
Indeed.
Hey, anybody who's interested in towing with an EV for, you know, like if you have a Lightning or a Rivian or something like that and you got a trailer, you can pull up with these without disconnecting your trailer. I have my phone, and the sun's out. It was raining off and on.
Yeah.
The entire, most of the way here from Nashville.
Yeah, except for whenever I would turn the camera on. It's weird because it would it would start to rain, and then we'd go, oh, hey, let's see if we can get some footage with the rain. And as soon as I got the camera out, turned it on,
and it stopped
rain
raining.
Would stop.
Immediately.
Yeah. So you have a little bit of footage with like some light sprinkles, but you don't see any of the more substantial rain that actually did happen. You'll just have to take our word for it because we have no visual proof.
And we're on charger number 4.
Looks like
which
it.
is handle 2. I grabbed the working handle first time again.
Nice.
Swipe to charge. Processing payment on phone. Initiating charging. Smooth as butter.
Like butter.
I am so happy that these have been more reliable
They have.
than what we've been hearing about.
I did not expect that.
You said it at the last stop. The only issues we've had are when it wouldn't let me log on because it wanted to give us the charge for free.
And we'll take that.
And I'll take a free charge.
Absolutely.
All right, we're charging. We are at 32% right now.
Yeah.
So I'll figure out, while we're eating our lunch, I'll figure out how long we need to stay.
Okay.
We're going to charge one more time in Knoxville. We don't really need to charge before we get to our destination. But we're going to because we want to be able to drive around once we get to our destination. So
Indeed.
we will have one more charging stop tonight. And today, it's not even tonight, it's not even noon yet. And no, it's 12:11. It's just barely noon. But at this next stop, we're going to do some bug spray on the front of the car and then run through a car wash because there's a car wash that we have a membership to that's a nationwide chain and has a location about a mile from the next charging stop. Look at these bugs, man.
They don't show up as much.
Well, just
on
get
the
in there
camera,
close
but
and you can see these bugs. This is a lot of bugs. And they just show up here where the grill normally would be. But let's have lunch.
Let's do it.
We are ready to go. We're overcharged just a little bit. We've been here for 24 minutes. We started at 32%. It should tell me what percentage we're at, but I don't know. 63, which is enough to go. We only have 93 miles. We've got a little over 50 miles of buffer, and we're going to head on the road to Knoxville. So I'm going to press stop, and then I'm going to unplug. Easier to do with 2 hands. And finish the charging session. So there's the Colorado Polestar. We saw you guys in Nashville. We'll see you guys in Knoxville if we have a good one. Off we go. In Knoxville, Tennessee, at the Walmart.
Gasp! A Walmart.
Gaspeth.
Who'd have thunk?
Who'd have thought an Electrify America at a Walmart? But there's also a Sam's Club.
Well, that's for a little for variety. So far we've stopped at all Walmarts except for one Sam's Club plus this one.
And that Kroger.
And that one Kroger.
And that Super One Foods in Mount Pleasant.
Oh, that's right. They haven't all been owned by
Haven't all?
the Walton
Well,
family.
the 2 of them weren't.
2 of them were not. 2 of them out of what? 6? How many times have we stopped?
This is
Some.
number 3 for today, and I think it was 5 yesterday, so 8. We right now have 71 miles of projected range, and we really only have, I think it's about 33, 34 miles to go. So technically, we don't need to charge right now.
Yeah.
But we need to be able to drive around once we're there. And there are chargers within 10 miles, but I'd rather just not screw with it and have a decent battery charge.
Right.
So we're gonna charge up. Like we've still got 100 and some miles to go, and then we'll call it.
No parking except while charging. So.
And there we are.
Hear that, ICE vehicles? Don't do it.
System upgrades for a better tomorrow. I'm gonna try handle number 1 because it's gonna be closer to my charge port. And connecting the vehicle. You gonna make me pay? Yep. There we go. Walmart 2065 Knoxville, Tennessee. And we're on charger number 3. And again, I grabbed the right handle first try without guessing because this one shows up as unavailable. It's like the 3rd or 4th time that's happened.
Well, good for you.
But I've grabbed the correct handle every time.
You know what? There's a trick to it, though. I think your intuition is noticing that the older ones that maybe haven't been changed out yet are discolored. They're like a cream color.
That
and
is
the
true.
new one is whiter.
This one is whiter. It's scuffed up like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, but I think probably they came around and just changed one at a time so that when they change out the second time they can upgrade or something. I don't know.
It has logged me in. We're at 27% state of charge, and very, very slowly moving. 5, 11, 16, 21, 26. 42, there's 53, and that's where our peak, about 53 kilowatts is our peak state. So we're gonna let this charge. We're gonna get some stuff at either that Sam's or that Walmart, and we're going to spray these bugs off of the nose of our car.
Yeah.
And we're gonna go run through a car wash before we leave. We are unplugging here because there's actually a weight at this charger. When we went into the store, it was us and a Leaf. The Leaf left, an EV6 showed up, an ID4 is waiting, and the other 2 chargers that are both 350s are out of order. So, off we go. We have arrived at our destination in the Smoky Mountains, somewhere around Sevierville and Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. Depending on which maps app you use, it's either Sevierville or Pigeon Forge at this address. So I wanted to end this video with some stats. Our overall trip mileage is 949.1 miles. The average, according to my trip odometer, is 3.7 miles per kilowatt hour. But on the energy monitor, it says 3.6 miles per kilowatt hour. We used 258.6 kilowatt hours of electricity to get here from North Texas. 95% of that went to propulsion, 5% to climate, and earlier today it showed 1% to battery conditioning, but now it says 0. Overall, we did 8 charge stops, and the total cost out of all of those charge stops was
$39.03.
$39.03. If we had brought our internal combustion vehicle, our Subaru Crosstrek, on this trip and bought gas at the least expensive gas station that we could find and paid $2.91. That was the lowest price we saw. And that worked out to 10.3 cents per mile. And over this amount of miles, that was
7.54, so $97.54.
versus $39.03.
So the takeaway here, for those of you who are not numbers people, is less than half. It cost us less than half the money for the fuel to get here in this car than it would have if we'd brought the Subaru.
Yep.
And paid for gas.
And the Subaru's not a gas guzzler either. We saw a gas pump in Jackson this morning, in Jackson, Tennessee, where someone had just put in 70-some gallons of diesel at over $4 a gallon, and the total cost was over $300. It was more than our car payment.
I took a picture of it. We'll insert it. It says $345.78 on the diesel charger.
So,
or the diesel gas pump.
And we didn't have any charging issues, not one single one. The only issue that we could say we might have had was on 2 chargers that didn't log me into my Electrify America account, but those 2 chargers were trying to give us free charges anyway.
And we were just so stressed about it. We were like, no, please accept me.
We were expecting it to be a glitch, but it wasn't. Every other charger was fine. The last charge that we did in Knoxville, only 2 of the 4 stations were working, but we didn't have to wait. A couple of people did have to wait after we got there. It started to get busy after we had plugged in.
Yeah, Knoxville was busy, but we were there like right around rush hour too.
Right around rush hour, because there was somebody, there was a Leaf there when we got there, and then we came back, there was a Kia EV6 where the Leaf was, there was an ID4 waiting for us. We pulled out, ID4 plugged in, and while that was happening, another EV, I don't remember what it was, but another EV pulled up kind of in line. So that's going to be the end of part 1 of the trip. Stay tuned for part 2. I'm not going to try to put these 2 videos together into one. It'll be 2 separate videos. Part 2 will be our trip home. We should be a lot more confident on charging and all of that stuff, and might be a little bit more relaxed when it comes to filming the things and getting more used to our microphones and stuff. So, any last things? Just say bye.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.